Hello, hello. Yes, closer, like that. Ah, good. I needed a lesson. We have lots of technology. My name is Leslie, if we haven't met, and I'm part of the Green Drinks Committee, and happy to have you all with us on this beautiful day. As it ended up beautiful, it was kind of interesting this morning, and hope you all made it through okay. I want to introduce our committee to you. We have Nancy Sheets out here, Pat DeCoff over here, and Baston, Grace, Aaron, Carl, Lynn. Lynn's in the back. There you are. I thought I saw you. Great. So if you have any questions, suggestions, please make sure.
And Zach.
And Zach. I made him come up too. Sorry about that. Yeah. And so if you have any questions or suggestions for us, please make sure you let us know. We are delighted to have these co-sponsors, Duke's Ale House, where we have been for 15 plus years. So thank you very much for that support. And then our other co-sponsors, the Environmental Defenders of McHenry County. So if you're not part of that, check it out. We have literature up there on the table. And so both working to keep this going for that amount of time. Who is new to Green Drinks this evening? Anybody not been here before? Terrific. Welcome for the first time. We're glad you came, glad you found us. So we're part of an international thing that started a while back over there across the pond. And we always like to figure out, well, how many more are joining in this international gathering? So folks coming together to build community, to learn about something which we'll be doing this evening. And then we always have announcements at the end to tie you back into the community. So this month we have a few new ones. One in Clearwater, Florida. Anybody been to Clearwater before? Yeah, okay. Also Fort Lauderdale, a pretty well-known town down there, right? And then our international places, we have two in the Dominican Republic. One is Cibad. Anybody been to the Dominican Republic? Maybe not. That's okay. And Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Yeah, know about that. And then also Invercargill in New Zealand. Who's been to New Zealand?
I have.
That's pretty good. All right. So at this point, there are over 435 green drinks in the world. So just think of all those people coming together to build their community. And that's pretty great. One of the things happening, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. First, I just realized we should introduce Zach. And did you want to chat for a moment?
Yeah. Well, happy Earth Month, everyone.
Yay. Yes.
You guys have been working.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. We have a lot of stuff going on at Duke's Ale House. So tonight we had a couple cocktails for you. We have Spectral Cooler, which is a green beer from Eagle Park.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. There you go. How was it?
The Garden Party mocktail if you're not into. So we have some options for you tonight. I'm so happy to come up with those. Duke's Ale House and Kitchen is going to be, or we just started doing a whole bunch of vegan specials. So last month we did Euphoric Hour with half price vegan items and vegetarian items for our menu. But we also had St. Patrick's Day, which was a lot of meat. So we talked a little about that. So luckily Earth Month came along and we have also, so now we're doing a bunch of vegan specials. So make sure you keep an eye out for those as well. We're going to be speaking, or I'm going to be speaking.
We'll get up for you. That's our dream. You guys do too.
Does that work like that?
Different places.
On the 17th of April, we're going to be speaking, or I'm going to be speaking at DePaul. We're going to be talking about humane treatment of animals, livestock particularly, and how restaurants and grocery stores and everybody is starting to understand the benefit not only of environmental reasons, but humane reasons of supporting local farmers. So we're really excited about participating in that. And then we are doing our first sustainability party with downtown Crystal Lake. So we're super excited about that. We're going to be selling tickets for that. They go on sale next week. That's going to feature obviously us with sustainably minded cuisine, but we're going to have some other vendors there and native plant sales and things like that to go along with the garden party going on in downtown Crystal Lake. So, and then finally, the biggest news is that this month we are going to be donating a portion of sales to the environmental defenders of McHenry County for Earth Month. So we're really excited about that. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions about any of that, feel free to talk to me after or during, and I will be around. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Thank you. So I am holding two microphones if you're not familiar with this little setup. This one is for our Zoom friends. So welcome to all of you who are on Zoom with us, because we always want to keep our circle big and keep including everyone if we can. And then this one, you can obviously tell, is helping you today, hopefully. Next month, we have special guest, Hannah.
And she's going to be talking about nature's voice and how literary art can save the environment. And the presentation explores how storytelling and poetry can deepen our connection to nature and motivate efforts to protect our planet. So we'll see her next month.
Yeah, so please join us then. We're always on the first Wednesday of the month. And then this is a special month, so I just wanted to check in with all of you. What do you know about what's coming up that has to do with this beautiful flag? Taking answers from anybody. It's your quiz time. What is it? Earth Day. What day is that, by the way? What is 22nd? You guys pass already. And what are a few of the things that caused us to finally realize that celebrating our planet would be a good thing, to call more attention to
The burning river.
The burning river, that's right, that now has frogs and turtles, and I worked in it for a while. Beautiful, the Cuyahoga River, if you didn't know about that. What are some of the other things that were going on back then, if you might remember? And those of you who don't, what did you hear? What? Yes.
Is that
DDT, loss of species, thank you, and DDT, right.
Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act?
Yep, Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, lots of new legislation to protect our life support system. So we still need, as we know, to band together to keep protecting it. And so as you can, you'll be hearing about different events today at the end of the program. So join in where possible or advocate for this beautiful planet. But we need it and each other to keep moving forward. So it's a great time to also celebrate too. And don't forget that as well. So again, we're glad you could join us this evening. We have Nancy Gonsiorek here to help us learn about rain gardens. Who has a rain garden at home? Anyone? Yeah, excellent. Good. And what you might not know about Nancy is she started gardening at age probably 2 with her mom, who's from England, right? And then she was down in Austin where she started learning about native plants and was down there working for a while, and then moved back to this area, which she is from, and really dug in, to the earth and to native plants, and learning and sorting out and finding that rain gardens really do help our water and everything else. So one other thing that you may not know about her, she's a CPA, and she works with nonprofits to help them audit and take care of their financial matters. So, and always generous with her time. So Nancy, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Leslie, and thanks to everybody on the Green Drinks Committee, and especially, wait,
I'm done.
hold on.
Sorry.
Am I good?
You're good.
Am I good?
I missed.
And especially Zach, who's been feeding me for I don't know how many years. And if y'all didn't look at the menu today, I am so hungry, and I want everything on the special today. So have it ready when I go downstairs, Zach, because everything looks so yummy. And my husband's like, she's eating vegetables again. Oh my God. So anyway, yes, I'm a CPA. I work with nonprofit organizations. My passion is gardening, especially with native plants. I also serve on the board of the Food Shed Co-op. So if you haven't shopped there, you should. It is amazing. I love that it's a small store, and you don't get overwhelmed by all the choices, and all the choices are good. So please go to the Food Shed Co-op. So I think, does anybody else want me to plug anything else? Okay. So am I in the wrong spot now? Wait, am I good here? Okay. I know, I told them there should be an X of frog tape on the floor so that we know and we can stay where we're supposed to stay. Because hello to everybody out on Zoom. Thank you for watching. And the Wildflower Preservation and Propagation Committee has been around for a bazillion years, which is a technical term, and probably is in the neighborhood of 40 or 45. We were originally kind of a little offshoot of the Defenders. And then we gave some seed money to a little organization that wanted to start up and help homeowners preserve land in McHenry County called the Land Foundation, which then became the Land Conservancy of McHenry County. And we gave them their seed money. So we're very proud of that. We also gave seed money to the Friends of Hackmatack. So that's what we do. We plant, we raise some money, and we help other people do good. So that's what we're all about. We love to have people join us. And we'll talk about the many ways we can do that as we move on. Oh. Technical difficulty is a part of my life. My husband is here tonight and he will vouch for that. I had to buy a new printer this week and I was almost in tears just thinking about what was to come. Okay, so we're going to start by talking about rain gardens, which is one of my favorite things of all times. And we're going to talk about the science behind them. And then we'll talk about the how-tos and why we should care about them. And I'm going to go through a lot of pictures just because I think pictures tell 1,000 words, right? And I think by showing you all the pictures, if there's one you want to dwell on, yell and we'll stop and talk about it a little more because I have a lot of pictures and we'll fly through them. So this is your water cycle. So you can see, can you all see the numbers pretty easily? So this kind of shows you how rain gardens start. We have precipitation, which is what? Rain. Water coming down, right? Then we have infiltration, which is, yes, soaking into the ground. We have subsurface flow, which what's a, yes, and runoff, which is one of the things we try to control, right? Because what happens with runoff? It takes all its nasty friends with it, right? Transpiration, who knows what transpiration is? Oh, wait, let's. The moisture that escapes from leaves. Yes, very good. The plants take up the moisture and eventually that goes through the plant, through the zoem and the phylum, right? And see, Brenda Dolphers is here and I'm a master gardener. So she's like, we taught her something back 20 years ago, right? And then through the leaves and back up into the air, right? We have evaporation. I think we all know what that is. That's just this water kind of evaporating up into the atmosphere. Advection. Who can give me a good definition of advection? Oh, I stumped everybody. This is so fun. I love to do that. Advection is kind of when the water goes up and the wind kind of blows it and it makes it into the next step. That's the easiest way to put it, I think. Any scientist here that wants to? No? Okay, good. Then I can make up anything right now. And then finally, we have the condensation, and then, which is what? Our clouds, right? All the rain kind of stores up in the clouds, and then it comes back down again. So this is the process we want to think about. So what are we thinking about with those plants? What's the good thing about those plants? Yes, and they can take up that water and put it back into our air so it comes back down.
Promote infiltration.
Pardon?
And promote infiltration.
Yes, and promote infiltration. Yes, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see if it works. Yes. So one of the problems we have today is stormwater. Our engineers, and we have a great engineer in the room right now, he's like, no, don't even say my name. We'll talk about him later. Engineers are really good at what they do, which is making sure we don't have floods. And what they do is they take that stormwater and they route it away from development so it doesn't cause flooding, right? But what is the problem? That fresh water is rushing downstream with no opportunity to replenish our aquifers. What else does that do? Does anybody know? What? Oh, we have many people. Paul?
Picks up oil and other garbage.
Yes. It causes erosion. It degrades our land, builds up in our creeks and streams, and ew, right? That's the pollutants going into our lakes and rivers. Grease, oil, fertilizer, pesticides, feces. It's all going through our water system. But then we have the good side. A rain garden can help to mitigate that problem. It's a shallow depression, and it will help to control that runoff because it will capture that water and let it go into the ground. And with the power of native plants, it can filter the pollutants. The native plants will improve the soil's ability to absorb the water, which is what we were talking about a minute ago, how the plants would, oh, okay. I did that, right? Yeah, for all we know, the lightning's starting again, right? It will also, those native plants will help to return moisture to the air through that advection, through the transpiration and advection process. The plants help to remove carbon dioxide from the air. We've all heard about this, right? Carbon neutral, and provides food, shelter, habitat. And there's one more thing that the rain garden does. Does anybody know what it is?
Looks good. It's pretty.
Yes, thank you. It's beautiful. And this is how they work. I always say this is the power of the prairie. So these native plants have been here since the Pleistocene epoch. And Scott, I'm just waiting for Scott to judge me, right? Because Scott is our water resources czar in McHenry County, and he's a scientist. So I'm always like, we've got scientists in the room, and I'm an accountant, so give me some space. So our indigenous native plants that have been here since the glaciers receded, the Pleistocene epoch, have huge, deep roots. They've been here for what, 14? Well, it's probably more than 14,000. It was 14,000 when I was young. Now it's probably 15, right? Yeah. So anyway, these are our native plant roots, and this is something like 16 feet right here. Now, what do we plant a lot of in our suburbs? Does anybody know how deep the lawn roots grow?
4 inches. 4 inches.
Where do you think that grass is up here? There's our turf grass. So when people tell you, oh, give that lawn a deep watering, what do you think is happening? We're wasting water. It's what is happening? It's running off, right? And what's it taking with it when it runs off? Fertilizers and pesticides and pet waste and everything else. So that's how the native plants work. These huge root systems are massive, and these roots are constantly growing and dying. And as they die, those roots are decomposing and creating organic matter. And they are also making the soil very fertile, and it also makes the soil much more open to taking all that water in and down into our aquifers. Now we haven't talked about our aquifers yet, but we'll get to that. So that's how native plants work. I think it's kind of fascinating and very cool. And I have seen pictures of botanists that have dug up a big blue stem plant and pulled those roots up to show everybody, and had people stretch out and hold the roots from end to end. And it's enormous. So that's how they work. All right, so the most effective rain garden is located where it's going to capture water, right? So you want to think about your yard and where you can capture that water and help to get it into the ground. Engineers are very good at what they do, which is making that water go away. But what we want to do is make the water go into the ground in a safe way. If the water goes away, does anybody know where it goes? What is the ultimate destination of storm water from McHenry County? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Okay, what did you say? Okay. The Gulf of Mexico, absolutely, because that water is going to go either into a storm sewer if you live in a municipality, or into a swale if you live kind of in rural areas. It's going to go out, run through, go out to a creek or a stream, eventually make it into the Kishwaukee or the Fox River, and down to the Illinois River and to the Mississippi, and it will be gone forever. Now, why do we want that water to stay here? Anybody else? Because she's smarty pants. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. Didn't mean to diss you, Ann. Yes. In McHenry County, all our water comes from the ground. You may live in a municipality where the water comes from a municipal well. And guess where that comes from? The ground. And I don't know that we're never going to get Lake Michigan water, are we, Scott?
Not like possible.
There's no infrastructure to bring it to us right now. And at some point, don't you think there's going to be some wars over the Great Lakes and the water? Something to think about. Oh, what's that?
Oh, I think they were gonna rename that Lake Illinois.
Oh, okay. All right. And yes, I heard that too. Yes. A rain garden, it can be planted on a hillside to capture runoff. And think about it. Some people live on a hillside and the runoff alone can be a big water problem, right? It could be in a ditch, which I do a lot of where I live. This is next to a parking lot. This is a brand new installation, so it's very small. And but this is a parking lot, so it not only takes that water, but it also helps to filter out all the pollutants from the parking lot, because parking lots are really pretty messy. If you don't have sun, you can have a woodland garden that will help to manage the storm water. Oh, that was my see my cat. This is a shade garden and it features, see there's some, there's a bunch of maidenhair fern up here. There's a pagoda dogwood. There's Jacob's ladder. There's a zillion different species, longbeak sedge, a lot of different sedges, and it also supports a state-threatened glade mallow plant. We've had for 17 years that I got at the wildflower sale, which we'll talk about. Rain gardens are beautiful and they can be problem solvers. So this was a situation where there was flooding that would pool up on this street, and it created a lot of problems, and they did this curb cut and put this rain garden in there to help take that water away without putting it into our storm sewers. So here's the easy how-to. You can pick a site, and we'll talk about how to pick your site. I'll show you a kind of a map of a yard in a minute. You make a very shallow depression. It doesn't have to be huge. You can take that soil and mound it up on the outside of the garden. You know, you don't have to amend the soil with native plants. It's really not necessary. The native plants are what made our black prairie soils in Illinois. So there's really no need to put compost in there. If clay is what you got, just plant into the clay. Just make sure you pick the right plants for the right place. So we have native plants that are good for clay. We have native plants that are really good for gravel. You just have to look and see what you've got. You can direct your downspout or sump pump, or it might be a situation where you're putting a rain garden exactly where it needs to be to catch runoff. Plant your plants, water while you're establishing, and enjoy it. So here's a yard, and this kind of also shows you how a rain garden can help. So you look at this yard, and they have, there's a huge slope back here. This is high, this is low. This homeowner was having a lot of problems with the water running down. There was a park in back of them. So all this water was running down right into their house, and they were getting flooding in their basement. And they actually helped to mitigate all that flooding by putting a rain garden in here that helped to catch the water. And they have native plantings all around here and a shade garden in here. And all of that helped them to mitigate that flooding. They also have a rain barrel here just for extra water on that downspout. And then they have the downspout, also the overflow goes down here. There's a downspout here, goes into a rain garden here. So this homeowner felt like they were getting all that rainwater from their roof and helping it to keep on site rather than putting it into the storm sewer in the city of Algonquin. And so we crunched the numbers and the math to figure out how much rain would be going into the ground because of this. And we figured that it would be almost 53,000 gallons of water that we would put back into the ground instead of putting it in the storm sewer where it would get treated like waste and then dumped into the Fox River. So here's the big thing to think about is that this is one homeowner, and their front yard got about 17,000 gallons. One homeowner is great. It's pretty to look at and it does help. But if you get 10 people doing it in your neighborhood, then you're going to have, almost 170,000 gallons of water. And if you get 25 rain gardens in your neighborhood, we're talking about 422,000 gallons of water. So this can be a citizen solution to help our municipalities to better manage our water supply. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I love that. And I'm not really a math person. I'm kind of with Barbie. You know how Barbie says, math is hard. It is. So this is that same house, and this is the rain garden that they put to catch the water that was coming down the slope of their yard. So you can see it's not super deep. They put a nice little piece of driftwood in the middle of it and planted these plants. And this was a year of a big drought that we had. And the only water this rain garden got was out of their rain garden or their rain barrel. So, and there it was in year 2. So they have ironweed and Culver's root and Queen of the Prairie. There's a lot of Rudbeckia submentosa, sweet black-eyed Susan, sedges, monkey flower, lots of fun plants in there. And this is the rain garden they did in the front. And see how you can do these beautiful little dry stream beds. And that's really lovely because it's fun to look at year round and it helps to slow the water so it will soak in even more. So that gravel helps to slow the water down as it goes into that dry stream bed. And this was a problem solver because down here, the water was coming off the downspouts and then they were having a lot of problems with water on the sidewalk. And this helped to mitigate the problems with the sidewalk. So, and that was the end of that same summer. So, and this is more of their yard where they have those plants to help to take in that water and mitigate the flooding. Nice path. And notice that even when there's not a lot of stuff in bloom, look at all the textures. That's something fun to play with when you're a gardener. It's not just about the pretty flowers because any perennial plant, it has a bloom season. And yeah, you can try to find plants that will bloom longer and more robustly, but also thinking about the textures and arranging your plants to have beautiful textures is part of the fun. This is a woodland garden in that same house. And you can see they have wild sweet William, they have shooting stars, they have wild geranium, a lot of sedges, and of course a cool little bird bath, which is always, you know, remember we're inviting the animals into our yard, so let's give them some food and water. Make it look nice. Do you see how this contour bed, giving it this nice shape, mulching that first, this is just the first 12 inches is mulched. And the other trick that I have that I like to promote to everybody is you take a grass like prairie drop seed, which is very beautiful, and you plant it in the front of your garden, 18 inches on center, very uniform, boom, 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 boom. You've got that mulch and that edge, and people walk by, and it doesn't matter that all the plants behind are all willy-nilly. This is, you know, people look and they see a beautiful garden because of that uniform look in the front of the garden. So think about that when you plant one of these gardens is, it doesn't, just because it's native doesn't mean it shouldn't have a design. Make it look pretty. So here's a rock border. This is in a ditch and you can't really tell the slope, but those rocks, again, the rocks help to slow that water down so that more goes in to the ground and less goes and runs off. There's a culvert over here that goes under the road, up over to Sleepy Hollow Creek. So we want to keep all that water on site as best we can without creating problems, and this helps to do the job. And you can see how you can have fun with the rocks. You can make a whole garden out of rocks. And I have a neighbor who took really pretty, I don't know if it was fish glass or, you know, some kind of beautiful colored glass, and put it in their rain garden, and it looked really pretty to put in there and add those colors. So don't forget your pathways, benches, and bird baths. You can see there's a little bird bath here. Just over there, there's a bench. There's a nice little path that goes in, so it invites you into the garden. So you take your time and go in and enjoy the garden. So just a reminder that the WPPC, we not only help you to plant the plants and sell the plants, and we provide programming on plants, and we help schools. So if you're an educator, we do grants of plants so that you can have an outdoor classroom in your schoolyard. But our Natural Garden in Your Yard program is so that if you want to get involved with natives and you just don't know how to do it, you can join our group. You can apply to be in the Natural Garden in Your Yard program, and you will be assigned a mentor. And you get to pre-order your plants. Do we still give a discount, Paul?
Yes.
We give a discount. Do you know how much the discount is? 15 or 20% off of, you know, our already incredibly low prices, right? And then you have a seasoned mentor to help you get through and help you with that first season, help you to plan everything and pick the right plants and come out and help you. So when you don't know what to do, they'll help you. So keep that in mind. And you can find that on our website. And I think everybody knows our website by now.
The WPPC.
Yes, thewppc.org. Everybody's so good here. I love them so much. Here's another problem situation we fixed. This is Meg. Some of you know Meg Bradshaw. She used to live here. She used to be a board member on the Defenders, and they bought this beautiful turn-of-the-century home in Harvard, and it had a gravel driveway, and the first thing the city said is, you have to have a paved driveway. And the problem was the gravel slowed down all the water. The garage was lower than the street, and the gravel was slowing down that water, and all of a sudden they were having water just gush down that driveway. So we worked with a paving contractor, and you can see how there's kind of a swale in the driveway there. So the water comes down, and it's engineered so that it goes into this rain garden. And before the end of the season, you can't see it there. There is a butterfly in there. Meg was emailing me, look, I have a butterfly. This is a swamp milkweed.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, there it is. So yeah, so that was a nice problem solver. This is a rain garden from a downspout, and you can see there's a dry stream bed. It wraps around a river birch, which kept the river birch living longer than it should have, but it still finally met its untimely demise. For most of you, do not do not plant a river birch. It's not a good choice. This was the beginning of it. There's a little tiny baby pagoda there that's now huge. And you'll see there is some Siberian iris and some hostas in there. And I am not a purist. You know, who doesn't love that huge, big sum and substance hosta with the lime green leaves? You know, put that with some blue hostas or the little, the golden tiara, you know, and get all those different textures in there. It's so fun. But also what you'll see in there is the maidenhair fern and the long-beaked sedge and lots of different plants. So, and there's a rain garden in a ditch. And this is my house. And I started coming down the hill. Our house is up kind of on a plateau, and there's a pretty steep slope down to the swale that takes the water out and away. And I thought, well, I want to keep the water on site for one, but I also didn't want my husband to die on his tractor because I kind of like him. And so I started just coming down the hill, and I went gradually. Every year I kind of added on to it. And this is my garden that it comes down the hill, and it's probably, what is it, like about that high, right? That it comes down and into the ditch. And you can see down in the ditch, you know, we've got great angelica and monarda and some mountain mint, Joe Pye, lots of plants. But I actually had, and that's where I'm trying to give it a contour look. And you saw the picture before where I've mulched it and I've got those grasses growing. So, and if you build it, they will come, you know. So yeah, so last year I got a letter in the mail. Somebody mailed me a letter, and it said, to the garden house at my address. And I opened it up, and it was a little card, and somebody just left a little note and said, I just wanted to thank you. I love your garden so much. I know. And it said, I bet the pollinators are all very happy there. And I thought, how wonderful. Who gets mail like that? You know, we hear in our nasty world today, you know, gardening can be such a wonderful thing. I wanted to share with you just briefly, the city of Rock Island started a program a zillion years ago, 2005. They still do help to promote rain gardens in their community. You can get a rebate of $4 per plant if you plant a rain garden, up to $3,000. The first year, and I visited it way back when. After that first year, they had 41 gardens installed and another 49 approved. They had 21,000 square feet of rain gardens and 5,100 square feet of commercial rain gardens in commercial properties. So I thought that was really cool that they did that. You can see this one was a kind of a swale between two homes, and the neighbors did this together. Here's one off of a parking lot. This one you can't see, but this comes from a downspout, and right over here, the downspout comes out here. But they've got this cool grist mill in there. You can see how you can make a beautiful design. Whoops, I went the wrong way there. So now I want to talk about our own backyard. How am I for time? Am I okay? 5 minutes. The city of Crystal Lake is doing amazing things. And if you live in Crystal Lake, you want to be a part of this. The city of Crystal Lake, they recognize that there's problems around the lake with flooding, and they are doing something about that. So they are buying up big pieces of land that can't be built on, and they are creating big rain gardens. They've also done some demonstration work. So we have a rain garden at Shepley Hall. We have a bioswale in downtown Crystal Lake where we're doing a naturalized bioswale with native plants. It's along Grant Street at Brink, I think. Well, is that right? Grant and Brink? Yes. Yeah. And so at Pine and Oriole, which is just, do you call that north or west of Northwest Highway? And Mike Magnuson is the city engineer. So that's why I'm looking at him and asking him, because I get so confused there with the road because it runs kind of a different way. But it's it's a whole block, and it's a huge rain garden now. And now they're working on, there's a triangle over by Edgewood. There's a very deep triangle. They're working on that one, and they're planting them with native plants and using the rain garden concept to help mitigate flooding around the lake and control our water. So thank you so much for being so forward thinking, Mike, and your whole team. And I've been volunteering with them for since, gosh, 2015, I don't know, something like that. But they've been so wonderful to work with, and they're so supportive of their volunteers. So I urge people, if you want to get involved, come and volunteer at the City of Crystal Lake, because we would welcome you. So, and we have more planting this May. So this is pine and oriole. This is a huge, it's like a block, right? It's a huge, and this is just the start of it here. This is just the start. It goes way over here. And it's amazing. If you walk out there in the fall, you're going to see cardinal flower, and you're going to see sneezeweed and all these great plants. And they've planted native trees all over in there. It's a great study of native trees. So there's a road up here. A lot of water washes down here, so the rocks help to slow it down. We're maintaining, as at the WPPC, our job isn't to do that whole, they have professionals to do that, but we maintain a demo garden there so that people can walk through, and our goal is to get the plants mature and growing and label them so people can look and see, oh, this is this plant, and we want that in our yard. So, okay, so that's the cool thing about Crystal Lake. So see me if you want to do that. And I'm going to flip through some plants really fast. These are all great native plants to put in a rain garden. And does everybody know where we can get these plants?
The plant sale.
Thank you. Yes, at our native plant sale.
On May 4th.
Yes, on May the 4th, and we'll see that in a minute. So Culver's root, a very beautiful white trusses. Look at that. Penstemon, foxglove beard tongue, this one blooms early. The bees just love this so much. I mean, these are all pollinator magnets. Ironweed is a super beautiful plant. The lighting isn't the best for this one. It's really more of a hot pink. It's like a Barbie pink. Meadow blazing star, always cool. There are many different blazing stars. They claim that the meadow is the favorite of the monarchs, and I heard it was because they can land better on it. The way the pads come out of the flower, the monarch likes that for landings. Rattlesnake master is a very cool plant. It's kind of like Sputniks coming up from the plant, and it's a bee magnet. I love going out in my yard and seeing all the different bees. There are so many, and I don't know them all because I'm not an expert on bugs, but obedient plant, queen of the prairie, always beautiful when it's in full bloom, looks like cotton candy. Prairie dock is so cool. These huge basal leaves that can get this tall, and then it shoots these stalks up super high. So when you're doing a garden, even a small garden in your yard, it's a perfect plant for structure because you get these big basal leaves, and then you get these huge stalks that'll go up 12 or 13 feet, but it's not an obstruction. So even in a small yard, it gives you nice structure in your garden. Bottlebrush sedge, another, the little sedges are so fun. They're like grasses, but different, but they bloom earlier in the year. So you see these crazy seed heads earlier in the year. Burr sedge, red milkweed, also known as swamp milkweed. Red's probably a nicer name. It's such a beautiful plant. It really deserves a better name, Spiderwort. This one is cool because the plants they're so blue and they're so beautiful. And every day they finish blooming around noon, and then the blossoms liquefy. But then you have a zillion more tomorrow. The prettiest blue. Blue-eyed grass, another fun one. This is for shade, wild sweet William. Green-headed coneflower, I think will grow anywhere, right? So that one you have to be a little careful. It's a little rhizomatous, but it's so pretty, and all the animals love it. Shooting star is a good shade plant. Ruin anemone, Jacob's ladder, dwarf crested iris is the sweetest little thing. If you love irises, it's only like that big. It's very, very cute. Goat's beard is a big shade plant, so that gives you some nice structure in a shade garden. Golden Alexanders will grow anywhere. another shade plant, but be careful with that one. That one's, it's great for, for a native area, but just be a little careful with it. And then I always like to kind of think about, what Chief Seattle talked about, a strand in the web. We're all just one strand in a web, and it takes a whole web. I don't know the exact quote, but we're one strand. So, one rain garden is really pretty to look at, but a whole neighborhood with a dozen rain gardens can be a citizen solution that impacts. It can make a huge impact in our water supply and the management of our stormwater. So hopefully you all are ready to have a rain garden and make a difference. So some of the things to do, if you use native plants, you don't need fertilizers or pesticides. That helps to mitigate those problems with runoff. Use your de-icing salts sparingly. And Scott can tell you all about, I'm always amazed when he tells you how much de-icing salt you really need on a driveway at one time. You might go out there and shake your whole container all over the place, but you need like a half a cup?
One cup will do regular size.
One cup does an entire driveway. So just be patient. We all get that whole American, supersize me. And it's like, if 1 cup is good, 10 cups is better. No, 10 cups is not good. Pick up your pet waste as soon as possible. That's so important. And if you can disconnect your downspouts and have a rain barrel or a rain garden, it's a great solution. And of course, you can contact your public officials and tell them why your municipality needs a rain garden. But guess what? If you live in Crystal Lake, they're already doing the job. So thank you so much, Crystal Lake. And then just remember, we have our native plant sale. Now you'll remember the day, right? When you hear everybody saying it's Star Wars Day, there you go. Best selection of native plants and as cheap as you're going to find them ever. Really, it's so much. The same plants we were selling last year for $4, I found at nurseries for $10. So great prices. We will have Bunker Hill there. Is that right? So Bunker Hill aquaponics and heirlooms, they will come and sell heirloom organic veggies so that you can also pick up some veggies for your garden. Great news, we now take credit cards. I know, we're joining the time. So we cash, check, credit cards. There's an ATM in the lobby. We have books. We have all the best selection of books about native plant gardening that you'll find. So allow some time for that and get there early. Okay, questions? Yes. In a parkway, on municipal property? Okay, that's an excellent question. If you're going to plant, and you know what, Mike might even want to answer this. I'm going to say, if you're going to do that, you probably want to talk to your municipality.
Yeah, in the city of Crystal Lake, we do allow that. You just need to get a permit from us.
Oh, here.
You just need to get a permit from us. And really the requirements are pretty minimal. We just don't want anything, obstructing the sidewalk or draping over the curb. But we do allow that, and it was kind of nice when we did Main and 176. We had a house on Main Street that actually said, please don't put sod in our front yard. And we said, we'd love not to. And they've got it all native.
Yeah. And so just remember, first, do no harm. So when you do this, the key is think about what you're planting. Is there a visual obstruction? You see people wanting to plant trees too in the wrong place. Look around you and, don't plant any tall native plants in an area where people need to be able to look both ways. Right. Questions? No questions.
You're on Zoom, really?
Questions on Zoom? Oh, wait, Scott?
I'll make a comment, I guess, if I can. So I'm the water resource specialist for McHenry County, and we advocate for native plants in the county. The big reason for that is our native plants, as Nancy had illustrated, have deep root systems, and that's deep fibrous roots that restore soil health. that entire soil column becomes a giant sponge. Our native plants are the #1 way we can mitigate flooding in the county. The turf grass, the roots go down about 2 inches typically, but they're on compacted, unhealthy soil. And so the ability for water to infiltrate there is significantly hampered. With native plantings, if we can convert a percentage of our turf grass in the county to natives, basically every drop of water that lands there is going to stay there. It's going to either infiltrate, evapotranspire, evaporate. And so native plants are really a powerful tool to mitigate flooding in the county. And rain gardens provide an opportunity for homeowners to take responsibility of their own water. Instead of passing that cost on to everybody else, you can keep a percentage of that water on site and turn a liability into an asset. So rain gardens really are a great tool to empower people to take responsibility for their own water and turn native, their properties into something beautiful that is actually contributing to our groundwater and reducing flooding. So just want to kind of clarify that point.
Thank you. Yes, I was just gonna say, Scott has done an amazing job at the county with some demo gardens, as well as, they're not rain gardens, but they planted the parking lot islands with native plants. Now, yes, just so you know, Scott's gonna make an announcement. We have really great prices, but he's gonna have a better price if you want to get some native plants called free. Yeah, but it's like 2 days and 2 days only. So, any other questions? No questions? Wow. Oh, Pat has a question.
Great job with
Crystal Lake is doing such a great job with rain gardens. Is there other municipalities doing the same, or how can they replicate that?
I believe the city of Algonquin is doing a lot of work with naturalized detention basins, so that's very exciting. And they started doing it because they realized that these detention basins were steep and they would get soggy and they were ruining a bunch of equipment. And so that's the lore that I've heard about it anyway. And so they started naturalizing their detention basins, and they actually do continue to work on those. And I think they burn there, don't they, Mike? Mm-hmm. They do burn. So yeah. So, and just another note on that whole, on the parkways and whatnot, if you're going to do your bioswale, like where I live, it's rural and we have swales on our property because we're all, on acre or more lots. If you're going to do that, you need to talk to your township highway guy before you do, and make sure he understands what you want to do and why, and make sure it's okay with them, because the road district they're responsible for those roads. A lot of times those are easements. So make sure you always do it the right way. The other key is, if you're going to do a rain garden out in your front yard, go talk to your neighbors and tell them what you're doing. Make sure they know before you start, because, you don't want them looking and saying, there's a bunch of weeds out there. I think there's snakes and rats, You want to make sure everybody's on board with what you're doing, and you educate before you just go do. You had a question back there?
they will allow you to do something similar to this as long as it's not obstruct traffic and you put a do not mow sign.
Okay.
Your first 6 inches.
So the comment there was that in McHenry is at the township, they allow you to do that as long as you make sure it's not obstructive to traffic and you put up a do not mow sign. So along highways and whatnot. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. You're amazing. Time for announcements. And here's one more.
That one? All right. Yeah. So thank you, Nancy. Great. And now we have a chance for some announcements. So if you have, we'll give you a whole minute.
Give Scott his purse.
I will. Letting people know what the rules are. But we'd like any announcements that have to do with the environment and this community, and we'll give you a minute and tell us who you are, who you're representing if you are, and then what that's about. So, Scott, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready because I don't know what your announcement is, and I'm pretty excited now.
Do I get 2 minutes since I got a couple of things?
Okay.
So first off, we tying into what Andrew was talking about. So McHenry County, 3 years ago, we did a really cool project with the environmental defenders. So we were able to obtain a grant to plant parking lot islands with native plants at the county administration building. So we planted 4 parking lot islands that were nothing but weeds. So mostly Canada thistle. And so we were able to eliminate all the weeds, cut the soil, and then planted native plants in each of the parking lot islands. And they did great. So 3 years later, the plants were doing wonderfully, but they're getting ready to redo the entire parking lot now. And so they're going to rip up the sub base so bad, they're going to have to rip everything up. And so they're going to rip up the parking lot and all the parking lot islands. We have 500 native plants that need to find a new home over the next week. So we're going to have a plant rescue where anybody can come, bring your shovel. I've got several hundred buckets. If you have buckets, bring them. But come dig up the plants and bring them home and plant them in your property. The great thing about the project that we did is now all the parking lot islands are going to be replanted with native plants. So they're going to use the same species. They're going to seed them. They're not going to plant them with live plugs. But the project really yielded significant benefits. Now, we can find homes for the 500 beautiful plants that we planted. This really will be a big win. So I have flyers in the back that actually show the design of the parking lot island, show all the plants. So we're going to have the first one is tomorrow evening from 5 to 7. This is at McHenry County Administration Building. The address is on the
Make sure everyone knows it's the Ware Road building, right?
667 Ware Road, the County Administration Building, and it's in the back. So it's the employee parking area. So tomorrow from 5 to 7, and then Saturday from 8 to 11. Flyers in the back. Okay.
You have another one?
Yeah, so next,
God might you want to mention the new plants are especially adapted for salt. I mean,
yeah,
salt
so I chose
Right.
plants of, so Monarda, all these plants that are absolutely beautiful and great for landscaping, but they are salt tolerant. So the next thing is we are hosting a River Watch program. So River Watch is a program that enables people to monitor water quality in streams. So we're looking at the macroinvertebrates that are in the water. So certain macroinvertebrates, these are water insects, are adapted to clean water or dirty water. So the presence or absence of these species is a great indicator of water quality. If water gets dirty, fish can just swim away. The macroinvertebrates can't. So their presence or absence is a great indicator for water quality. So this is a program where they will train you to identify the macroinvertebrates, and you are doing true citizen science. So this is going to be held at Lost Valley Visitor Center, May 3rd, from 9 to 4 p.m. And I've got flyers in the back. One more thing real quick. Half minute. So every year we do a big program called the Water Forum. We hold it at McHenry County College. It's going to be held this year, September 10th. So it's the second Wednesday of the month. Every year we choose a different topic related to water resources. We have this great restaurant called Duke's Ale House Catering with real stick to the ribs food. So our saying is we want people to go home smarter, and fuller than they arrived. And so we've been able to do this many years in a row. This year we're going to be focusing on watersheds. And we have just an incredible lineup of speakers, including the village of Algonquin, and they'll be talking about how they have used naturalized restoration to mitigate flooding and the economics of it and all the benefits. It's going to be a great program. Hope to see you there September 10th, 5 to 5:30 to 8 at McHenry County College. You'll hear more about it.
Just made it.
Who's next? Way back here. Coming up? Okay.
It's this one too.
You're tense up already.
That was silly.
This thing, as you guys may know, I'm the president of the Fox Valley Electric Auto Association. We are celebrating our 50th year this year. So it's very exciting. 50th year. We were proud of it.
50?
Yeah, we were founded in 1975 by people doing.
They were converting gas cars to electric. Way back.
Way back.
With French fry oil or whatever.
Oh, no, this is full electric, so
Oh,
it has
that's
batteries and, crazy stuff. But anyway, and on a more personal note, I am also going to be skipping the country, so if anybody's interested in an all-electric house, let me know.
What? You're leaving
I'm
us?
gonna leave, sorry.
Oh my God. What are we gonna do?
Well, I'll be around for another couple months. I can give a presentation on my
Yeah,
house.
we'll have to do that. Okay, anybody else? Brenda.
Good evening, I'm Brenda Dolphers. I am the program coordinator at University of Illinois Extension, and that is where we have both a Master Gardener and a Master Naturalist program. I want to let you know right now, I have some flyers on the table, and it explains a little bit more about our Master Naturalist program. I have applications available through June to join our class that starts in August. If you consider yourself a lifelong learner, University of Illinois Extension is perfect for you. If you want to know more about restoration, if you want to know more about ecology, if you want to know more about, Scott teaches one of our classes. I mean, Nancy teaches one of our classes. If you are enjoying these evenings here, I think you will enjoy this program. So please take a flyer and come and join us.
Thank you.
Want to come up or you want to go? Ann's gonna go to you?
Cord. Not very long.
Hi, I'm Marty Gorman, and tonight I am with the McHenry Foundation, and I would like to invite anybody and everybody to clean up at Crystal Lake for the chamber on the 26th of April from 8 o'clock to about 11. They'll give us a site to clean up, but it should be fun. Just a little bit of outreach for people that have been involved with conservation, like all of us. So
That was fast. Yeah. Who's doing the greens? Who's doing birthday?
Not today.
Okay.
I'm with the Defenders. I'm Nash. I'm working with MCC to bring a repair fair. It's a free event where people bring their items that they want repaired so that we are diverting them from a landfill. We need volunteers as well as participants. So if you can fix a bike, a small appliance, lamp, or clothes mending. We have sign up link back at the table, and then there's some flyers for you to take this way. Thank you.
Thank you.
The environmental dance. We're gonna have a dance soon, aren't we? The environmental dance. The dance, okay.
I'm Nancy Sheets, with the Environmental Defenders, and many of you were here in January. We had Jen Walling from the Illinois Environmental Council who's speaking about the policies that IEC is going to be working to get passed through our state legislature in 2025. And if you were here, you may remember that I asked about whether we could get a bus to take some of us down for Lobby Day this spring. Well, Jen just got a hold of me 2 days ago and said if we can get 25 people, that would be half of a bus load. They will bring a bus out to McHenry County, a nice bus, not a school bus, Pat. A nice bus. Up to NCC, they would pick us up at NCC early in the morning, 5 or so in the morning. We would be escorted by a volunteer from IEC down to the State House, and they arrange the meetings with our state legislators and so forth, and then bring us back with us at the evening. This is May 21st. I have to let Jen know by May 1st whether we've got 25 people or not. So next Wednesday, Grace and Aaron will be sharing information through the e-news about how you can get signed up for this bus. We'd love to have you attend. They're going to be lobbying about the Clean and Reliable Grid Affordability Act, the Clean and Equitable Transportation Act, and the Clean and Healthy Buildings Act as part of the climate change lobby day. So please get back to the defenders if you're interested in doing this.
Will there'll be some training to train people so that you know what to talk about and
We will
yeah, and
yes, you get a
ahead
letter
of time so you can prepare.
You get the person from IEC that goes with the group, and he or she will gather everyone together when we get to the State House and talk just a little bit about how you talk to your state legislators, how you make your points and so forth. And then they have the meetings with the legislators already set up. So they guide us through the day. They don't just take us there and dump us out. So
I can use it ahead of time. They give
There is a Zoom ahead of time. that
There's a
prepares
Zoom
you as
ahead.
well.
Oh, good. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's helpful so that
Yeah.
people know what they're getting into
And you
before
leave
they.
that day feeling like you did try to make a difference or maybe make a difference. So, again, watch for the news next week and contact the office if you can attend. Thank you.
Okay. Is anybody doing?
Or I could do two.
There's quite a lot of you.
Here, you need this one.
Yeah.
I'm Beth Holland and one of the co-leaders of McHenry County Chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby. This is our 10th year in the county. And we meet on the third Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock at Richfield Crystal Lake Presbyterian Church, otherwise known as Rickleman. And we're meeting next week on Thursday the 10th, and we're going to meet actually, if you feel like, writing some postcards to get environmentalists to get out and vote in Pennsylvania, in their primary. Also, CCL, Citizens Climate Lobby, we meet with our United States representatives and senators to get them to get some good legislation for the climate. And I have a tie-in with rain gardens and the water cycle. Who knows who hangs their laundry out to dry? Who hangs their laundry out to dry in the winter? What happens on a sunny, warm, sunny, breezy day in the winter? Does your laundry get dry? Yes, and what's that called? And it's none of the above that we had in the cycle.
It was not, it's not evaporate transpiration. I don't know.
What is it?
Homework.
It's a clean
Homework.
homework.
Homework. Good for you.
She's gonna let us hang out.
You have to come back next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, drying.
So we're in.
This is a request for all of you attending and people on Zoom is, our committee is looking for people to tell their good story about what they've been doing to help the environment. So I haven't said I can't tell our story yet. So you guys have gotta come through and tell the good things that you're doing, change your own environment to make it more environmental. So we ask for that next time or this time.
You can do it during this time period.
Is it freeze dry?
Yes, no.
Jacob had a.
Okay, Jacob?
Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm a Friends of Illinois Nature Reserve. We are going to be getting work in Rain Hill State Park, an area known as Wayne's, or Wayne Shannon, a biologist who passed away a few years back. There's this area that's very, very special, very, very important. They took care of. Rain Hill's kind of hidden there, and it's in trouble. It's losing its diversity, it's losing its quality, and it needs help. And so the Friends of Illinois Nature Reserve is finding people to help with other collaborators to kind of work on starting up. If you have any experience in restoration or anything, you care, if you really want to see and protect these areas, try and get a couple of people together to kind of try and help this area before it goes, because it only has so much time left. So if you have any interest in doing that, come find me. If on Zoom, my email is jacob@friendsillnature.org. It's super important, and I would love to see everyone come and help.
Thank you.
Everybody, Karen Kennedy with the Environmental Defenders. I just have a couple announcements. We are partnering with the Conservation District again this year for our Earth Day event. Going to take place at Prairie View Education Center on April 19th from noon to 4. There's going to be educational booths and a lot of great information there. There'll be 2 food trucks. There'll be a band. So we're really trying to re-energize that event and really make it kind of the county's destination for Earth Day. So I hope you will join us for that. And then also the Defenders annual meeting / dinner is April 27th, and it's from 3 to 7. It's going to be at Red Tail Golf Course. It's a new space. They just built the event space, so it's gorgeous. It's got great windows, but it's a really great opportunity to kind of come together, kind of celebrate the accomplishments from the year before and get energized for the work ahead. So I hope you guys will all join us. We have information on the table. Grace and I can help you navigate our website, which brings up another issue that we're having. We have noticed that we're having problems with our PayPal form for the meeting. So if you have already gotten tickets, and thank you for doing so, but please check your bank statement, your credit card statement, and make sure that that charge has been taken, because we've noticed that people think that they have registered, but then the transaction doesn't go through. So we're here to assist you with that, but we really hope that you'll join us on April 27th. Yeah, it can be awesome.
Anyone else? Oh, back to you. You have one, Mike.
Yeah. So I want to thank Nancy again for the presentation. Thank you very much. Yeah. And to all the new folks that came tonight, we're glad you joined us and hope you can join us again. And same for you folks on Zoom. We'll look forward to seeing you back there or here sometime soon. And there's a lot of things to be involved in this month. It's a special time to really call attention to this place we call home. So continue to take care of our beautiful world and all those we share it with. And we'll see you back here in May. Take care. Thank you.